Hi, this is LauraJthe.Treetalker. I asked the tree oracle cards to show me if there would be an active conflict in Europe between Russia and most of the members of NATO. The basis of the issue card, Quaking Aspen Abundance, means wealth or lots of natural resources. In the immediate past, you'll see Fig reversed, indicating incompetence and amateurs. In the current situation position is Elm reversed, meaning shameful feelings of inferiority or low self-worth. Immediate future Mulberry self-worth means self-confidence. Outcome Muru carefree means untroubled and easygoing. Starting with the basis card, it looks like Russia invaded Ukraine because of its abundant natural resources and access to the Black Sea. The idea that Ukraine was not a legitimate independent country and was still part of Russia was a BS cover excuse. Fig reversed is in the immediate past position. In reverse, it means incompetence and amateurs. It shows that Russia turned out to be pretty incompetent and are being propped up by countries who still buy their oil, while they are plowing through their citizenry like a buzzsaw, as well as anybody else they can hijack to be soldiers. Plus, their senior military has all been killed or injured, so it's kind of being run by amateurs. The current situation card, Elm reversed, meaning feelings of inferiority or self-worth, applies to both sides. Russians, by definition, are feeling pretty suppressed and confused at this point, wondering why, if everything is going so great, according to their president, is this war still going on and the men still getting killed and injured? But they're so used to being run by dictators, they really don't know what to do to change things. And on the other side, Europeans since World War II have had to completely rebuild and have spent years depending on the U.S. for aid and support, both financially and militarily, so they also haven't felt inferior to the U.S., although they'd be unlikely to admit it. But now, Europe is facing up to the fact that the U.S., under our current administration, isn't going to work against Russia. So, the next card in the immediate future position is Mulberry self-worth. I think it is referring to the Ukrainians, who have shown themselves to be worthy of a lot of respect for how well they have performed during this war. The Europeans also realize that an unchecked Putin will not only murder or enslave all remaining Ukrainians, but will have unfettered access to rare earth minerals, as well as complete control over the Black Sea and one of the largest nuclear power plants in Europe. And he is not likely to stop with Ukraine. So they will take the chance that Mr. Putin is just bluffing when it comes to using nuclear weapons and will decide to confront him. The outcome card was confusing to me, but after giving it some thought, I decided it meant that something will happen to prevent an out-and-out war. It will either be the death or removal of Putin or some kind of intervention from China and or India by which Putin is given a way out so he can keep his imaginary dignity. So I don't see from these cards that there will be an open war between Russia and Europe. Further, as I said, I think Putin will be out of position and those coming after him will not wish to continue the conflict, restoring a sense of security to Europe and Russia, at least for the time being. So then I asked, in what way, if any, will the US, China, or others be involved? The 5 cards in the second row are Kusa Dogwood reversed, meaning indifference or heartlessness. Sugarbush reversed, finds unappealing, bored with. Shack reversed, keeping or taking for oneself. Hornbeam reversed, liability, restriction, unfriendliness. And Brazil nut, joined, united, affiliation. I see these cards collectively as meaning that all the rest of the countries, US, China, North Korea, and others, will stay on the sidelines but will contribute financially and will eventually want a piece of the action, whether it be financial gain, investment, access to Ukraine's resources, such as rare earth minerals, or they'll want to have a say in what happens next. Their interests are strictly financial. And although these non-participants come across as pretty cold-blooded, everything is, in the end, about trade and prosperity. Therefore, I see that it's very possible secret negotiations between non-combatants will be the main factor that eventually ends the war, but it will still mean that Putin is out of the picture first. And finally, I asked, will the outcome be favorable to the Europeans and Ukraine? The 5 cards I drew for this question in the third row are Shea Oak, preparedness, ready for what may come to pass; Redwood, fulfilled, bring to completion, achieve, or realize something that is desired; Sequoia, reversed, superficial and shallow; Sapote, engaging with, participating, or making an agreement; and Sugar Maple, enchantment, charmed by or with, state of being under a spell. The third row of cards indicate that the Europeans are preparing themselves, as they are currently being actively poked by Russian drones and fighter jets crossing their airspace. The second card indicates that Europe's main desire is for peace, Ukraine's is for entry into NATO. This card suggests that both will happen. However, the third card implies that the results of any treaty or peace plan may be insubstantial and not cover all the issues. However, according to the fourth card, an agreement will still be made, although if you consider the fifth card, that a truce might not be permanent. My own opinion is, it might be that after so much time, Europeans are so intent on stopping the war that they will forge ahead with a flawed peace plan, just hoping that the problem will go away on its own. Each side wants the current fighting to stop. Russia because it's broke and out of people of fighting age, and Europe because they just don't want to experience another thing like World War II. The memories are too strong. So I believe and see in the cards that there will be a truce, but it will be an illusion and of little significance. My own feelings are that if Putin is still in power, he will violate the truce within 2 years because he will refuse to give Ukraine any of its territory or stolen children back and will slow walk reparations. Mariupol will be a flashpoint as, when it is finally opened up, will prove to be one big mass grave. If Russian leadership does not change, the time of peace will be fleeting. Lasting peace will only come when Ukraine is allowed to be part of NATO, but returned children, land, and other reparations will not come anytime soon, possibly never. I will ask further questions as I see any important changes in the situation. This is Laura Jean, the Tree Talker. Thanks for watching. Bye.